What's good, world? It's your boy TWiZ, and welcome to 5 Minutes of TWiZdom. 5 minutes of tips and tricks to help grow your music brand. And on today's episode, we're gonna break down how the Billboard works. That's right. How do you rank to be on the Hot 100 Billboard charts? What are they looking for? Does your music even qualify? I break that down today in this episode. So before we even get started, you wanna make sure you have these two important things before you can even talk about Billboard. The first thing is making sure all your music is registered. If you don't have your music registered, it's not gonna work. They have no way of tracking you. You have no way of even knowing if your music is getting spins and things like that. Make sure you get a pro, make sure you have distribution to where your music is registered. The second thing you need to do is make sure all your music is registered on the Nielsen SoundScan. I put a link in the description to make sure you go there. It's a real simple process. You really just fill out the information and you gotta make sure you have it down to the T, how many minutes your song is, down from the minutes and the seconds, and make sure you have your IRSC codes, which can be found in your DistroKid or your TuneCore or whoever's your distribution. And if you have your own, you can plug them in there too. And that's just their way of just tracking the songs that you may have on your streaming sites. So after going through my research, I found out that Billboard qualifies your music into 3 different categories. The first is sales, your digital and your physical sales within the first 24 hours. So on platforms like iTunes, Amazon Music, they're checking to see how many people are purchasing your song within the first 24 hours and monitoring that all the way through that first week, which is why you get a lot of reports of artists selling out millions of records within the first 24 hours, because that first initial 24 hours is very crucial for them to kind of pinpoint where you're going to be, to put you on the radar. And get this, people are still buying CDs. That's right, your physical too. Don't forget about that. There's still people out there still riding to some CDs. So you want to make sure it's available for not only your digital and your physical. All right, so they're checking those 2 sources to see how well you're doing within that first week. The second category is radio play. That's right, radio ain't going nowhere no time soon. They're checking to see how often your song is being spent. Is it spinning all day, every day? Do you hear it consistently? Is it playing every hour on the hour? Is it playing throughout the week? They're monitoring how well it's doing onto the radio platforms. So again, just like physical CDs, you kind of want to make sure that people who are still listening to the radio stations have access to your songs. The third category is streaming sites. Now you're probably thinking, yo, TWiZ, you already said Amazon Music, iTunes, aren't those streaming sites? Yeah, they are, but those are paid streaming. We're counting now on streaming sites like YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, the sites that don't necessarily cost for people to stream, but they're checking for you in high demand. So if you release your music video on YouTube on the same day that you release your album or your single, you're gonna get maximum streams because now you're checking the box on all 3 categories. That's why it's imperative to do marketing and promotion all the way up to your single drops, because they're monitoring that first week. And if you do really good on that first week, you get onto the Hot 100 Billboard charts. Now, to reel this thing back in with the controversy between 6ix9ine and Billboard. 6ix9ine claims that Billboard snubbed him out of the top 2 positions, landed him at number 3 because they didn't account for all of his streams. Well, that may be true, because even though he may be world famous right now, the Billboard Association only accounts for streams here in the USA. Well, why is that? If you haven't watched my video about how to collect all your royalties from all the streams, you might want to do that. Just hit this link right here and it'll take you straight to that video and explain a little bit more. Just to give you the shorter version, when you go overseas, they have a different system of how they track their records and how they pay their royalties. So with pros here in the USA and Billboard, they don't keep track of that. They don't work on the same system. It's totally different. So all they account for is what's here in the US. Not only that, Billboard goes the extra mile to make sure the integrity of these streams are official. We're dealing with a lot of technology, and people have come up with different ways to trick the algorithm to think that a lot of people are flocking towards certain projects or certain singles when they drop. A couple examples of that is streaming farms. What is a streaming farm? A streaming farm is when somebody buys multiple devices, hook up to the same internet services, and they have different accounts playing songs on repeat all day long, all the time. So that's why you're getting a lot of these gaudy numbers when it comes to releasing projects. You're wondering how they do it, 50 million, 180 million in one day. Well, they just have a room full of devices, iPads, Samsungs, all these different devices playing these songs on repeat. I know, crazy, right? So a lot of people doing that right now. Another big thing that people do to make sure they get a lot of streams is they purchase their own music. You have somebody with a big credit card, you got a big limit on your credit card, and you just buy a whole bunch of your downloads, inflating your numbers. And now Billboard has caught wind of that and has limited per card 4 downloads per project. So if you have a new single that's out and you buy 4 streams for yourself to try to do it, that's the maximum. Now you could buy more than that, but they're not going to count more of that because it's coming from the same source. So they want to make sure the integrity of people actually buying it makes sense. Another thing that they're doing to protect the integrity of these streams is trying to make sure they verify each account. So you know those little things, those captchas and things that you have to do, they want to make sure the people who are actually filling out these information are verifiable. They're tracking your habits, they're seeing how often you listen to your device. So if all of a sudden you have a Spotify account and you haven't listened to anything for a long time, but then all of a sudden out of the blue, boom, you're listening to all these things, you're downloading all these things, that's going to pick up a really suspicious thing, and therefore those streams are not going to count. So I'm trying to tell you, it does not pay when you fake it till you make it with these streams. As much as they're coming up with different ways, they're coming up with different ways to make the algorithm stronger, to allow people to have strong integrity with these streams. So if you're going to earn these streams, you're going to earn them the hard way, all right? Yo, I hope those Billboard gems served you well. It's been another episode of 5 Minutes of TWiZdom. Thank you so much, guys, for checking out my channel. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you can get updated on whenever I'm dropping these gems on you, all right? Share to a friend, like, comment, share some experience you may have with Billboard yourselves. If you've been on the Billboard charts, let me know. Put it down in the comments so I can check your workout. Share with a friend. Let people know that TWiZ is dope, man. And I'm just trying to spread some knowledge out to the world on what they don't tell you in the industry, all right? It's been another 5 Minutes of TWiZdom. It's your boy TWiZ. I'm out. Certified.